right. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Minoff. I'm the Communications Manager at the NYC Hospitality Alliance. I'd like to welcome you to part 2 of our webinar series of NYC Restaurant Reminders and Resources. So today we have joining us Angel Pagan from NYC Department of Small Business Services, Magda Desdunes from NYC Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, and Katherine Greenberg from the NYC Commission on Human Rights. So we have a great lineup of presentations ahead of you. So, and we will have some time for Q&A at the end. So be sure to use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we will try our best to answer all of your questions. So without further ado, I will give Angel the virtual floor to kick us off. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Angel Pagan, and I'm a compliance advisor for the New York City Department of Small Business Services. I want to take a minute to thank the Hospitality Alliance for allowing our agencies just to provide this service to the community. And now that the city just reopened, and we want to make sure that everyone is safe and operate, the business without any conflicts. Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce, I'm going to share my screen. Just a moment, please. And we're going to talk about the New York City Business Quick Start Program. The New York City Quick Start Program is a program that is provided by the New York City Department of Small Business Services, which helps unlock economic potential and create economic security for all New Yorkers by connecting New Yorkers to good jobs, creating stronger business, and building driven neighborhoods across the 5 boroughs. The New York City Business Quick Start is an interagency effort led by the New York City Department of Small Business Services, SBS, to cut red tape and position New York City as the most business-friendly large city in which to open or reopen a business. New York City Quick Start Program is collaborate between several key agencies. This include the New York City Department of Small Business Services, which I represent, Department of Buildings, Environmental Protection, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, and New York City Fire Department. One minute, please. The key features of this program is that we offer a concierge service, which businesses will have a sole point of contact, which is a small business advocate to help navigate city regulations. This would guarantee a 48-hour response time to small businesses inquiry, and also cutting tape processing by 50%. Small business advocates. Who is a small business advocate? Is our team make it easy for you to start, operate, or grow your storefront business without any delay for free. Small business advocates will represent you and will do all the process to connect you to all the services that you need, cutting time and saving money. We will help you understand city rules and regulations and requires avoid fines and violations. Connect you to government agency to get the permits and license you need for your business, and help you to understand how to resolve any violation your business has received. Cutting the red tape. We're talking about different agencies. For example, New York City Fire Department, also known as FDNY, New York City Department of Buildings, DOB, New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, DCWP, New York City Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, New York City Department of Health, Mental Hygiene, DOH, MH, New York City Department of Sanitation, DES, NY, New York City Department of Agriculture and Markets, New York City Department of Financial Services, New York State Liquor Authority, and Connecticut. Small business advocate will help you go through the red tape together with our colleague city agency, regulatory agencies, and utilities. This is very important because we have the direct connection to these agencies and we provide a quick service and a quick feedback from these agencies to avoid any delays in the process of your licenses. The key industries and storefront business types that we help, those are the food and drinking establishment and retail personal care. From those under the food and drinking establishments are restaurants, cafes, pizzeria, ice cream shops, bars, supermarkets, bodegas, deli grocery stores, fish and meat markets. The retail and personal care is also under the appear, home, hardware, pharmacy, flower shops, bookstores, laundromats, dry cleaners, salons and personal care, shoe repairs, and small manufacturers. A small business advocate, sample of service provide, which is licenses and permits. We help you navigate the Department of Buildings permit process, New York City Health, navigate the full service establishment permits, also known as H25, New York City Department of Transportation, provide information and steps need to apply, for example, the Open Restaurants Program, which is one of the programs now that is used by restaurants in New York City just to operate on the pandemic so they can expand the service to the public. Our milestone is to open soon and operate faster. We have helped open 6,000 plus establishments, and we help businesses create 50,000 jobs and plus jobs, which is something that is our goal, to help business to open and help business to expand and create more jobs. Compliance consultation. How do we do a compliance consultation? How can we help you? It's a free line of sight visual assessment of your current or soon to open commercial space. It's a free one-to-one guidance with a customized checklist on how to avoid common violations. Answer questions about violation you might have received. Compliance advisor will visit your establishment, will establish a conversation with the business owner, and will do an evaluation and an assessment of your establishment, and just look around to see if there's any possible violation. Will cost you, points if you have a full establishment, or any other monetary, violation if you own a regular retail store. A one-to-one service from the business owner and the compliance advisor will give you an understanding how to avoid those violations and save money. One minute, please. A milestone, part of our milestones, operate in compliance and avoid violation. We serve more than 8,000 small businesses across the 5 boroughs, help small businesses save more than 120 million by avoiding fines and penalties, and help more than 390 restaurants comply with the rules of the New York City Open Restaurants Program. The New York City Business Quick Start, free one-to-one virtual or on-site consultations available to help businesses understand and comply with reopening rules and regulation. Consultation will not issue a violation or fine and can help you prevent them in the future. Eligible business includes storefronts in the following industry: food services, which include cafe, bars, restaurants, delis, and bodegas; retail, which includes supermarket, clothing stores, electronic; personal care, which include nail salons, hair salons, daycare centers, gym, and fitness center. And did you also know the New York City Business Quick Start program can cut the process time by 50% for key licenses, permits, and other requirements for your business? This means that you will open your business on time and faster. Any information on this program, you can also reach out the number that is listed, 888-SPS4NYC, or visit nyc.gov/quickstart to sign up for a consultation. Other SBS resources the New York City Department of Small Business Services offer is available to help you open and operate your business. Reopening hotline, consultations and webinar, financial assistance, online business education courses, business mentorship, recruiting, trainings, employees, commercial lease assistant, certifications like MWBE, EBE, LBE certifications, business adaptation playbook. This is some of the resources available to small business to help you operate and open your business faster. Now we're going to talk about the key to NYC. As everybody knows, beginning August 17, August 17, business who provide indoor entertainment, dining, or fitness are required to check the vaccination status of staff and customers 12 and over, and only allow vaccinated individuals, at least one dose individuals to enter indoors. Enforcement will begin week of September 13. Penalty starts at 1,000, can reach to 5,000 for repeated violators. Outreach team are going door to door in neighborhoods across the city to educate business owners about the key to NYC. This means that we have a lot of interagency effort going from door to educate business how to maintain the key NYC alive and avoid violation with the city. This business include dinings, restaurants, catering halls, hotel banquet hall, nightclubs, bar, grocery store with indoor dining, coffee shops, fast food or quick service with indoor dining. It also includes fitness, like gym, fitness center, fitness classes, pool, indoor studios, and dance studios. Under the entertainment, it covers movies, theaters, music, and concert venues, museums, galleries, aquariums, zoo, professional sports arena, indoor stadiums, convention centers, exhibition halls, performance art theaters, bowling alleys, arcades, pools and billiard halls, recreational game centers, adult entertainment, and indoor play areas. Keys to NYC requirements for indoor dining, fitness, and entertainment. Check vaccination status of employees or customers 12 and over. Entry only those with at least one dose. Place the key to NYC sign in a clear, visible place where patrons can see it before they come in. You can download a copy at nyc.gov/key to NYC, or you can also get the sign by calling 311. You should check for IDs or anyone appearing to be 18 and over of age. At the same time, you check for proof of vaccination for entrance to indoor spaces. Have a written plan describing how we would check proof of vaccination for staff and patrons. The record must be on site and available for inspection. Know the valid proof of vaccination, NYC COVID Safe, apps, New York State Executive Pass, CDC card, or other official documents. This is all the way that you can ask anybody visiting your establishment can prove that at least they have one dose of the vaccine requirement. Those that are over 18, that appears to be 18, you should make sure that you check for verification. Key to NYC reasonable accommodations for customers. If a customer is unable to show a proof of vaccination due to the disability, you must engage with them in a collaborative dialogue to see if the reasonable accommodations is possible. Reasonable accommodations can take many forms, like customers can purchase food, depending if you have a restaurant, you can provide, they can take out food, but if you offer classes, you can offer a virtual class or speak with a representative by the phone. For employees must provide reasonable accommodation, disability, pregnancy, religion belief, or status as a victim of domestic violence, stalking, or sex offense. If an employee requests an exception for one of the reasons listed above, you must engage with them in a collaborative dialogue. So if the reasonable accommodation is possible. Reasonable accommodation can take many forms. For example, you can work remotely, perform job duties outside or isolated from other employees, or take leave of absence. Note something, you know that you have to provide reasonable accommodation if you will cause a direct threat to other customers or employers, or if your business, or impose under hardship on your business. Key to New York City resources to help. You can find these resources on the website. All resources listed below are available on the nyc.gov/key to NYC. The signs must be printed and displayed. You can find FAQs, answering the most common business question. You can just do the hotline to the New York City Department of Small Business Services for small business to call, 888 SBS for NYC. And if you know anyone that is making fake records of vaccination, you can make those report by calling 311 or calling 833-VAX scam, or you can email to staff vaxfraud@health.ny.gov. Any discrimination that you want to report, you can contact the New York City Department of Human Rights at nyc.gov/human rights, or you can call 311. As you see, this is the poster, how the poster has to look. It has to be said the New York City requires you to vaccinate against COVID-19 to enter this business. This is a standard poster the city has for every business that it requires to display this, this type of posters. You can download this very easy on the website. And so for you visitors and customers can be aware that you're required to show a proof of vaccination or to get vaccinated. For questions, for more information, you can visit nyc.gov/start, or you can call our hotline 888 SBS for NYC, which is 888-727-4692. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much, Angel.
Any questions you guys can just put in the chat. I'll be happy to answer those questions.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. So the NYC Quick Start program is just another great resource that businesses can use in addition to, contacting the Alliance, as you may know. So next, I will give Magda Desdunes from the Department of Health. You have the virtual floor.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, thank you to the New York City Hospitality Alliance. The Health Department's Bureau of Food Safety and Community Sanitation inspects all food service establishments to check that food safety regulations are being met. As you know, we did modify restaurant inspections in response to the health and safety concerns about the COVID-19 public health emergency. Beginning July 19th, we did resume conducting full inspections, including issuing letter grades and summonses subject to fines. However, as of September 13th and the foreseeable future, the health inspectors are engaged in key to NYC enforcements. Also, when possible, the inspectors are responding to complaints and conducting pre-permit inspections. As Angel already stated, inspectors will be looking for the following 4 things in their key to NYC inspections: the required vaccination required sign, which he said you can get by calling 311. The required written implementation protocol. They want to make sure it's complete and made available for review on request. Please note that the protocol should include how the covered establishment will check the vaccination status of staff and customers before they enter and immediately after they enter the business. Also, the written implementation protocol is not required to be completed in English. And there's also a template that you can use to create it. They want to make sure that vaccination proof is being checked for all staff and patrons over 12 years of age. And personal ID is being checked for all patrons over 18 years of age. Lastly, at any first non-compliant inspection, a verbal warning will be issued, not a summons. So just continue to check the key to NYC FAQs. Just a few reminders to remind you, as stated in the Article 81 of the New York City Health Code, every establishment is required to have a supervisor that has obtained the Food Protection Course certificate on site during all hours of operation. Due to the impact of the COVID-19 public health emergency, applicants for the Food Protection Certificate may be scheduled to take the exam on a date that is further in the future than typical. So therefore, effective now through December 31st, the Health Department will accept either of the following two documents issued by the Health Academy from the supervisor on site: either an email verification of passing the food protection course exam, or an email verification of the course exam registration, but it cannot be valid past the date. So we will accept that you have passed the course and just waiting for the certificate, or that you're registered for the test and the date is approaching. Regarding permits, a health department permit is required to operate your food service establishment. Also, new establishments can operate the food service establishment 22 days after submitting the food service establishment permit application. So either you have a permit and you're operating, or you've applied for a permit and it's been 22 days since you applied. Regarding renewing, you can renew your permit online or in person by appointment at the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. In order to renew, you need your permit number, which can be obtained online or by contacting Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, or you can contact the Health Department, and we will be putting our contact information in the chat for you. So remember, if you are a new applicant and your permit status is pending, it will be pending until you pass your pre-permit inspection. So even if it's been a year since you've submitted your application and you think that your permit has expired, it hasn't. You're a new applicant. You don't have a permit until you pass your pre-permit inspection. Okay. Now, we do have tons of support services available for you. We have our consultative inspection program. It's an educational inspection by a public health inspector with no grades or fines. This is available to all establishments open for business. The service will provide an ungraded review of the restaurant, a list of violations and ways to fix them, a personalized 3-year restaurant inspection history report, and the opportunity for the inspector to meet with you and your staff. There is a fee associated with it. If you've never received a letter grade, it's $100. And after you received your first letter grade, it's $400. We have our ombuds office. I'm not sure if I've met all of you. I've tried to introduce myself to as many operators as possible, but I'm your ombuds person. I am the liaison between you and the health department. The ombuds office, we receive questions, comments, complaints, compliments about the inspection or the inspector. We complete a confidential investigation, and we make recommendations on how to improve the inspection process. We also have our customer service office. In the pre-pandemic, our office was open and you could actually come in. However, now you can reach us by calling or emailing, and we're available to you. We'll answer various questions regarding your restaurant, including inspection reports, the health code, plans review, processes outside of the health code. We provide all of our support services also on site and online. We provide grade card replacements and required signs and posters. We also have our inspection history report, like I mentioned earlier. That's something that's included in the consultative inspections. However, you can also just request the inspection history report. It's a list of repeat violations over a 3-year period, and it provides all the necessary steps that you need to correct and prevent reoccurring violations. We have our Health Academy. Most of you are familiar with that, and that's where you complete your food protection course. We have tons of educational materials on our website, and we can email it to you or mail it. We have the Green Book, which is the Article 81, which provides of the New York City Health Code. It provides the food safety rules and regulations that need to be met. We have our Blue Book, which is called What to Expect When You're Inspecting. So basically, this is like, it has a self-inspection worksheet that you can use on a daily basis just to make sure that things are being done accordingly. We have tons of fact sheets and we have signs. So listen, we're here to help you. We want you to meet all the food safety regulations and keep all New Yorkers safe. And if you ever need any support, just reach out to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Magda. I really appreciate it. Okay, so next up, last but not least, we have Katherine Greenberg from NYC Commission on Human Rights. So thanks, Katherine.
Thanks, Brittany. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for being here. I will be brief because Angel did a great job of covering some of the concerns that our agency wanted to speak to, just the guidance that we have put out for businesses implementing Key to NYC to make sure that they're avoiding discrimination against customers or employees in reviewing proof of vaccination, and to answer questions that you may be getting about reasonable accommodations for your customers or your employees. So I will put a link in the chat to the guidance that we've put out, and I know that Angel had that link in his presentation as well. In general, I'll talk about two different kinds of obligations under the city's human rights law. So there's the obligation not to discriminate, and then the obligation to accommodate. The obligation not to discriminate is something that I know all of you are already doing every day. You're not looking to discriminate against your customers. Some of the ways that this may come up in this particular situation with Key to NYC, so you just want to make sure that all of your employees understand how to check proof of vaccination, what kinds of proof of vaccination are acceptable, and that they know that they have to check everybody is the same and not look more closely at some people's because they think those customers may be more vulnerable to COVID or less likely to be vaccinated, or because their proof of vaccination is coming from a country outside the United States or is something that they might be less familiar with. If all of your employees understand to ask everybody for proof and the kinds of proof that are acceptable, then there shouldn't be any concerns about discrimination in the way that you're implementing Key to NYC. The second topic, accommodations, is trickier, and I know that this is something that many of you may have questions about. As Angel had indicated, there's accommodations for customers, and then there's accommodations for employees. So first I'll speak about accommodations for customers. In general, when a customer needs an accommodation because of a disability, your next step is going to be to talk with that person in the cooperative dialogue Angel was referring to see if there's some way that you can provide your services to them and help them to have equal access to those services. And that applies with Key to NYC and just in general. If somebody relies on a wheelchair to move around, you're going to want to make sure you have a ramp or a way for them to access your premises or your services. The same notion here. If a customer comes and says, I'm not able to show proof of vaccination because I can't get vaccinated because of a medical condition, you want to talk with that person about whether there's some way they can access your services, but without allowing them inside your premises. So a mask or a test is not an acceptable alternative to vaccination, but you may be able to seat that person outside. You might be able to provide that person with takeaway service. You might be able to speak with that person on the phone to provide information about your menu or your options. There may be other ways that you can provide services to that customer that doesn't involve allowing them into the indoor portion of your premises for an extended period of time. It's a similar idea with employees, but there are more categories of employees who may be entitled to those accommodations, which means you're going to talk with them about whether they can keep working for you, even if they don't have proof of vaccination. So employees who don't have proof of vaccination because of a disability, but also because of pregnancy, because of religious observances, or because they've experienced domestic violence or stalking. And there it may look more like the employee has their proof of vaccination, but they need some time to get it because, say, it's stuck in their apartment, their abuser is staying in their apartment, they can't get there for a few weeks. So an employee may be planning to get vaccinated or soon be able to show proof of vaccination, but just need a little bit more time to get it. But whatever period of time your employee isn't able to show that proof for, if they fall into one of those 4 categories, you should talk with them to see if there's any way that they could perform their job without spending time in the interior portion of your business. So if they work for you as a server, if you have an outdoor area they might be able to work in, so they would only serve tables that are in the backyard or on the sidewalk in front of your premises. There may be, depending on the category of employee and the services they perform, they might be able to take orders by phone. They might be able to do other work. They cannot wear a mask as an alternative to vaccination, and they cannot do regular testing as an alternative to vaccination. So if the employee can't do their job remotely and they can't do their job outside, and they're not able to get vaccinated, even if it's because of a religious observance or a disability, then they're going to have to stop working for you, either until they can get vaccinated or until this executive order is lifted. And at that time, they can return to work. So I'm happy to answer any questions about any of that. And thank you all again for your time.
Thank you so much, Katherine. Really appreciate it. So there's a lot of information from you 3 today. So we will go through some of the Q&A, and we'll try to get through as many as possible. But to start off, are we still required to take temperature of employees? I had a city inspector asking for an employee temperature log when he came to inspect vaccines for Key to NYC last week. So maybe that's a question for Magda or Angel, perhaps.
I think Angel already responded, and no, temperature checks are not required anymore, are no longer required.
I'm sorry. Oh man, I couldn't hear you. I mean, the temperature requirement was during the COVID time that employees required to have a logbook with all the temperature of the guests. But now on the Key to City of New York, it's not required. Just the requirement is just the vaccination status. They need to show proof of vaccination, but reading the guideline, I don't see anything that says they must check for temperature.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, can somebody address the expected federal OSHA rule regarding vaccinations for companies of 100 employees or more, and how that would interact with the Key to NYC? More particularly, Key to NYC does not allow for exceptions slash testing, and the OSHA rule likely would. Do we expect that NYC businesses will no longer be required to have all employees vaccinated and could instead go to weekly testing? So I'll hand that off to Katherine.
So I can speak to this, although I'm not going to have a really specific answer. We have to wait and see if that guidance comes, and if it does, what it says. In the sort of legal structure, federal law, generally their rule has to be followed and local law has to follow federal law. But until we know whether the federal rule is coming and what it says, we don't have the ability to know whether it would affect Key to NYC or in what way. But we're certainly looking out for it, us at the commission, but also the folks at the law department and the mayor's council as well. And so if it comes out, we will have a response to you as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, Katherine. So we have another question. Even though staff is vaccinated, are they mandated to wear a mask? Magda, you're on mute.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Oh. So even though their staff are vaccinated, are they mandated to wear a mask?
Yes, I believe so. Let me confirm. I will definitely respond back, but I think they have to wear masks. Yes. Let me confirm.
Okay, thank you. So we also have a few others that were answered, but might pertain to some other folks. So someone has a bar with an outdoor space only in the backyard. Can a mask wearing unvaccinated patron enter our establishment to access our outdoor yard? So perhaps Angel can answer that.
When it, hold on 1 second, please. When it comes to the policy applies to for outdoors only. If you're in outdoor space, so you don't have to show any proof of vaccination. As soon as you enter your business, you're gonna sit, you're gonna sit and have anything to eat. You're required to show proof of vaccination. But it seems like if you're gonna go through the business and you're gonna go to an outdoor space, how are we going to prove that those individuals are going to stay on that particular place? They are not going to go back into the space that I occupy. So as far as I know, based on the guidelines that is listed, it's only applied to open space area. And if you have an outdoor seating area, right, which is open restaurant, I think you should not require to have that. But if you can prove that you have a secure area that is also considered, outdoor, and that whoever enter your business is going to wear, going to keep the 6 feet distance, going to wear a proper mask, then they're going to go straight. You're going to have a personnel monitoring. It's going to be part of your protocol plan. I don't think you should have anything to worry about when it comes to that. But you should look into the guidelines, right? The COVID-19 guidelines, just more specific, because things change very rapidly, and this is some of the questions that are very particular, and we don't want to we don't want anyone from that particular agency come up with a different ideas, and now it's not included. But as based on the guidelines, when it comes to outdoor and indoor, I think it should be secure as long as you put it as part of your protocol guidelines that you're going to have when the state comes and visit your business.
Thank you, Angel. So another question that we have is, do we have an anticipation on to when the Key to NYC program will end? Is it based on a program of a percentage of New Yorkers getting vaccinated? So Angel, or we also have Michael on the back end who can help out. But from the Alliance standpoint, we don't have an update, but if you join our newsletter, you can get it straight to your inbox with all this information of when it will end and what next steps will be. But either Michael or Angel, if you have anything to add to that.
I mean, I can add something real quick. I don't know, Michael, you want to step in? And I mean, you mute. Michael, can you hear us?
Michael, we can't hear you. Sorry.
No, I can't hear them.
Oh, yeah, we can't.
I mean,
hear.
I can just elaborate a little bit on it.
Sure.
I mean, everybody knows that when rules like that happens, is because there's been kind of numbers going up, and to make sure that we control we control it. We had to have guidelines in place just to make sure it goes back to normal. I believe after new numbers come up and see that it's not necessary for everyone, to that everybody will have a tremendous number of people vaccinated. It's not going to spread the disease. I think it will stop. I don't think that it will stop as long as people don't vaccinate. That's why it's recommended for everyone, if they want to enjoy it, go back to normal, everybody to get vaccinated. That's the whole thing about the program. That's why the reason to have all those posters, to let people know awareness how dangerous can be this disease. I mean, this virus, and for everybody to get vaccinated so we can go back to normal. That's my saying on that.
Okay, thank you. And do either of you know, so the new announcement about the HEROES Act, how will that interact with the Key to NYC?
But what I heard about the HEROES Act, that's just to prepare New Yorkers and businesses for upcoming something of this level happening again. So we can, everybody can have a business, plan in place just to avoid going through almost something similar. That's basically what the HEROES Act is all about.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Michael, we still can't hear you. But if you want to write in the chat your response, that might be helpful for panelists and attendees so everyone can see your additions. Hold on one moment.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, now we
All
can.
right, great. Apologies for the technical difficulties. So I joined a little bit later because I have other meeting calls. So let me introduce myself. My name is Michael Fong, Director of Compliance and Growth on behalf of SBS. So I'm actually joining to answer some of the questions. I think going back to what the comment that Angel made from earlier, because the information change all the time, my recommendation is to constantly check on the website Key to NYC for update. I think that way folks can get the most up-to-date information. And there's also FAQ documentation that's updated regularly. So I would strongly recommend folks to check out the website, download the FAQ, and make sure that some of your questions are getting answered. And however, if that question is not being answered, or if you need an immediate response, you can always reach out to our SBS hotline at 888-727-4692 for follow-up.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about the New York City HEROES Act, New York Health and Essential Rights Act, that's the name. It was signed on law on May 5th, 2021, which mandate extensive network workplace health and safety protection in response to COVID-19 pandemic. And the whole purpose of the HEROES Act is to protect employees against exposure and disease during a future. It's only future airborne infectious disease outbreak. So it was already signed in May this year. So it's good for, I'm gonna put the link on the chat so people can see it and can just follow up on that as well.
And just want to add what Angel has said. The goal of today's webinar is to share whatever the resources that made available to the public, as well as the New York City Business Quick Start and Key to NYC. We will continue our conversation by collecting questions and feedback from audience. So Brittany, if you can leave your contact information in the chat so that any of the questions that we cannot answer today, we will do a follow-up and then we'll get back to you.
Great, thanks so much. Yeah, so as Michael mentioned, I'll put our contact information in the chat so you can contact us with any questions. So we mentioned, the NYC Quick Start program through SBS. That's a great resource. Along with the Alliance, we're always happy to help and assist in any way. So from that, I believe a lot of the questions have been answered. So we will be sure to follow up with any questions that were gone unanswered because perhaps we're looking into it or trying to get more resources for you all. So for now, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Angel, Magda, Katherine, and Michael. Thank you all so much for having us and joining us for today. And as I mentioned, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to any of these agencies. You could reach out to the Alliance at info@the-nycalliance.org. You could reach out to SBS as well. We are more than happy to help and serve as a resource. So for now, I want to thank you all again and enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, thanks. Have a good one.